Speaker number 2, Jeff Landau. Change your story, change your life. Change your story, change your life. Jeff Landau.
It was a moment I will never forget. That happens when you almost die. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it was a day like any other day. It was a bike ride like any other bike ride. I was at about mile 30. My mind wandered a little bit. I had my head down. And when I looked up, all I could see was guardrail. The road had a sharp turn left. Immediately, I knew there would be impact. What I didn't know is that on the other side of that guardrail, about 20 feet below street level, was a concrete wash. If I go over that guardrail onto that concrete, this story does not end well. I did crash that morning, but I somehow missed that concrete and a couple of trees that were sprinkled in too. I was lucky. I walked away, and only bloodied and bruised. This was the kind of close call that makes you reflect, ask questions, vow to make changes. And the good news for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is that you don't need to go through a life-threatening accident like that in order to make profound changes in your life. Because I'm going to share with you my very simple 20-step process that you can... One thing. Share with you one thing that you can do to make a big change in your life, should you want to. 6 simple words. Change your story. Change your life. Now, you may be thinking, what do you mean change my story? Isn't it just reality? Well, I have a parable for you to help explain this. In the early 1900s, there were 2 shoe companies that each sent their best salesperson to a region in Africa to explore the possibility of expanding there. The first salesperson wires back to the headquarters. The situation is hopeless. They don't wear shoes. The second salesperson wires back to their headquarters. Glorious business opportunity! They have no shoes! Right? It's the same reality. No shoes. But different stories. Different actions and different destinies for both companies. Change your story. Change your life. I recently changed a story in my life you may be able to relate to. For as long as I can remember, I've been tortured by the need to be perfect. I overanalyzed everything because it had to be perfect before I could start. It often paralyzed me. You can probably guess I wasn't getting the results in life that I wanted. And I changed my story. Instead of being perfect, my new story is give my best, be my best, and my best is good enough. Immediately, this pressure was just lifted from me. I stopped judging myself by the need to be perfect. It was okay to be me. I am where I am in life, and it's okay. It affected how I think, everything about me, how I think, what I do. It took that pressure off. Change your story. Change your life. I have a dear friend of mine who's enjoyed a career in marketing for over 20 years. And he started up a small business. And like any small business owner, he had to wear many hats, one of which was sales. Now, being the good marketing person that he is, he told himself that sales and marketing don't mix. Therefore, he wasn't a good salesperson. And he wasn't getting the results on his sales calls that he was hoping for. And at our club contest, he heard this speech and realized he was telling himself a story, that he wasn't a good salesperson. And he changed his story. And his new story was, I'm great at what I do, and my clients need and benefit from my services. And like that, his appointments started getting better. His results started getting better. Change your story. Change your life. Do you have a story that holds you back? I just can't seem to lose this extra weight. I should be farther along in my career by now. I should have more money in the bank. Story, story, story. And not an empowering story. We all have stories that we tell ourselves. You have a story. You have a story about who you are. You have a story about whether you can or you can't. You have a story about whether you take responsibility for your experience in life or that you're a victim. What's your story? The stories that you tell yourself are just thoughts and only have the power and meaning that you give it. And your life is a manifestation of all the stories that you tell yourself. And you're going to tell yourself a story anyway. Why not make it amazing? Because when you change your story, you change your life. And you can change your story tonight. Mr. Toastmaster.